The Grappling Hour is brought to you by Gear, athletic support items created by grapplers for grapplers. Fire Grub Meal Prep done right.
Yeah. Check it out.
No, you have a great day. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Rafa Sparza. I'm coming to you live from 10th Planet Van Nuys. Shut up! Anyway, one of the nice things about coming over and visiting my friends over here is we get to put in work, we get to put in rounds, and I thought today there are several gentlemen fighting at King of the Cage, the 20th anniversary, happening over in Ontario, I believe, this coming Saturday. So whenever you have your friends fighting on a card, you definitely want to do your part and interview them. So I thought, as a way of being able to be fair to each of them, I'd put 7 minutes on the clock over there, and each of them is going to get 7 minutes to interview with me over here. We're going to lead off with our good friend Milton, but before we do, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Fire Grub Meal Plan and Gear. Thank you guys for paying the bills. Milton is known for his pressure, his ability to sometimes get fight picks correct, and for having a short temper when it comes to not being able to drink during his own weight cuts. But we're proud to bring him back onto the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Milton Arguello. Come on in, sir. How you doing? 7 minutes starting off right now. I like that you jog into the interview,
hey,
sir.
Raph, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you.
So how do you feel, man? We just finished training a little bit right now. You feeling good? You're about 6 days out?
Yeah, I feel real good, man. Had to carry y'all wrestling class. You know, a little tired from that. Got a couple pounds on me, but other than that, feeling great.
Wow. I didn't know you were going to be insulting me real quick to start off.
You have good pressure. What do you mean? Is it,
Good
take it as a compliment or an insult, whatever you want to say?
I'll tell you that, you have a nice flowy state until you don't. And then that's the beautiful part is you're working nice movement until you're like, oh, is that your giant head on my face, Raph? Would you say that's accurate?
That's fucking accurate.
Okay.
Yep.
I need you to do a solid real quick. I need you to hold this microphone for a second. So I forgot one thing. It's okay. I asked you to hold it, but I'm just going to tell you something real quick before you do, which is, I tried to get you guys to do this interview earlier, and it just wasn't working for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. But we were able to make it happen. I always try and do the interviews before you guys have like a major weight cut.
Correct.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're excited? Tell me about your opponent this week, okay?
Yes, sir. I'll hold the microphone now. I am excited about this fight. I've been training really hard. Added a couple new things this fight camp, training with a couple new people, at a new gym now. I think I'm just overall eager to get back in there and put on a great show for everyone. I'm super happy with the way things are going, super happy with my weight, super happy with just the quality of training I'm finally getting. It's been a really good 6-7 weeks.
I'll take that back. I'm so sorry. Are you mad that I didn't bring you one? I could bring you one, dude. Here, look. No, it's okay. It's just I would be so rude if I was an interviewer who didn't bring you a beer. Golden Road Melon Cart, not a sponsor, but should be.
They should be. They should sponsor the show ASAP. They should definitely sponsor your show.
I would. No, you know what? I can't give it. Oh my God, are you in a weight cut? I'm so sorry. That's so mean of me to do that. Okay. Well, maybe I will think twice about ever canceling an interview. Anyway. No, but tell me a little bit, because I've seen you've been working over at Muscle Farm. The facility's great over there. What is the training like?
The training's really great. I'm training with really high-level guys. Jason Manley's the head coach over there, and he's phenomenal, man. He just beats my ass every time I get a chance to roll with him. The training partners are great. They're around my weight class, and it's just high pace, high volume, and high quality of work.
That's good. I really like that. And Jason, isn't he going to be on the upcoming Ortiz and Liddell card?
Yes, he'll be fighting Tom Galicchio. Galicchio. Yeah, whatever. I don't enunciate.
That's pretty dope. And here's the thing. I want to make sure. that people understand. I'm definitely making fun of that card because it's CTE presents Tito and Chuck 3. However, I can't help but be excited and happy for our friends who are getting exposure on the card. So I'm very happy to see that. Milton, one thing that I'm curious, because we've gotten the chance to know you before. There's 4 minutes left in the round. What has changed most in your time as a mixed martial artist? You've been doing it for years. There are pictures of you looking like a child, or more like a child, I guess, and holding Taekwondo belts and et cetera, et cetera. Tell me a little bit about what has changed most over the years.
Perfect. What's changed the most? Not drinking beer. I haven't drank a beer for 7 weeks now, so that changed. I used to be 4 weeks out.
This is so
now,
good,
yeah, I'm sure it's a delicious beer. But more than anything, I think I've just been maturing as a fighter. I've been actually implementing game plans. I've been more technical about the way I approach things. I train with really high-level guys, and I pick guys' brain like Jordan Mins, who is like probably one of the best amateurs out there right now. I'm training with Eliot. I'm training with all these high-level guys. I'm just trying to pick their brains and trying to learn from them. So I think just learning and maturing and growing into my body finally. I look like Mike Wazowski, so like look like Mike Wazowski with like some muscles now, like as opposed like just a lanky, goofy motherfucker. So
Is that what you thought that you look like?
Oh,
Who's
I
telling
for sure
you?
look like him, man.
Really?
Yeah, look at my torso. My torso is like so small, and I have these super long legs, super long arms. I used to be called Mike Wazowski in high school.
Really?
Yeah, when I was running track. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where I got that from.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, now I get
That's
that
a new
photo.
meme for you.
That is a meme. Dude, I'm not even that mean. Oh my God, people be real mean to you. Okay, 2:30 left on the clock. One of the things I always like about where you are in your training is you have a great ability to mix up a lot of your jiu-jitsu game with your striking. As a fan, I always like to know, because you watch a lot of fights as well, what is it that you look for most when you're watching a fight?
From a fan perspective, I just want to see some guys get CTE. I mean, from a technical perspective, I like seeing game plans. I like seeing, like at the CXF show last night, I love seeing like Louis Smolka apply that pressure, which my buddy Jordan pointed out right off the bat, and just like break someone down with that pressure. And that's just like really fascinating to watch and unfold, like from a technical aspect. But from like a fan, I just want to see some guys like Gaethje just go out there, eat 50 punches and get the knockout. So
I always wonder that, because you do get very excited about it, and there's nothing more exciting to me than when fans who are fighters still are able to keep that within themselves, because you get really hype about fights. You know, I've seen you get super hype about fights even when you're super drunk. I want to ask this: how did you lose a bet to our good friend Freddie, because you had to go buy a nice gift for him? Tell us a little bit about how that went down, because I thought you were so good at picking fights.
I mean, it's my first loss all year. Fuck, man, that was a tough one. That was a tough pill to swallow.
Is it harder to lose at picking fights or fights?
Harder to lose at fights, for sure. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Not even, no question. Okay. But that one, I just was off that night, man. All props to him. He picked all the right fights. But wow, it just wasn't my night. The guys I thought were gonna perform definitely did not perform. So.
Can we know who didn't perform on your list?
I thought OSP would be more of a veteran and give Reyes some problems. Shout out to Dominic Reyes. What a monster, man. Like, he just showed some excellent skills, like taking him to the second and third round and just changing his game plan after like kind of being winded. But he did a great job, so shout out to him. But I lost that pick. I can't even remember what else I picked.
We got fuck those guys. We got 20 seconds left. Shout out your sponsors.
Shout out TGP right here, The Given Project. Shout out Dodgy Collective. Shout out Blackbeard's Craft. Shout out All City Tea and Twin Towers Inc. out in Long Beach. Shout out Golden Shears Grooming, Cool Heating and Air Conditioning, and GCal Fitness. And shout out to my boy JJ Buckner for winning last night. First round knockout.
All right, you're done. Cheers, everybody. Hey, thank you so much. I know it's this is embarrassing, except it's delicious. Man, that sucks for Milton. I mean, this is really what you work hard for, kids. So we've got another 7 minutes on the clock, which means we can go ahead and bring another one of the folk here from 10th Planet. I want to go ahead and bring out our good friend, the Black Power Ranger, which we're going to have a chat about. Lance Bush. Lance, come on over, sir. 7 minutes back on the clock. Everybody's like jogging out here. This is what makes this actually way more fun.
Cardio-based team.
Yeah, no. You guys are the type that, like, when they form two lines to work out and do the calisthenics, y'all are running back to the line. I'm not, but I'm proud of you guys.
That sounds like us.
So let me ask this, dude. I'm not as familiar with where your journey starts. So where does your mixed martial arts journey begin?
This is where I take the mic from you, right? All right, cool.
doing any bits to you.
No, it's all good. I just train so you can do all the work. Honestly, I've always had a passion for martial arts. I think from an early age. My grandfather was in the Navy. He boxed when he was in the Navy. So I got a little bit of an introduction from that. I started doing Taekwondo when I was 12, but I kind of gave up boxing and Taekwondo for traditional high school sports. I didn't really get back into this current martial arts state until right after college. I ran track in college and knew some guys doing jiu-jitsu. That was the first time I got into it there. Met my Muay Thai coach at the gym I was going to. A couple of years of doing that. Did some Muay Thai smokers, did a couple of amateur fights there. That was around 2012, 2011, 2012. First instructor was Bill Cooper. So if you want to get into the Power Ranger thing, the Black Ranger thing, that's where that story starts.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
What is Bill like as an instructor? I know he's a beast of a competitor. I also know he cray. So what is he like as an instructor?
Cray in the best way, though, man. Shout out to Bill Cooper. I haven't seen Bill in a long time, man. If you ever end up seeing this, Bill, we miss you, man. Shout out to Bill. He's out there, and I think he's in Santa Barbara. He might be in San Diego. I don't know. We need a tracking device on Bill. But Bill, as an instructor, is passionate. And he's also someone who does jiu-jitsu in his own way. Also, shout out to Jeff Glover, because that's another person who kind of was around when I started my jiu-jitsu journey. And Bill, as an instructor, wants to try and explain it to you how it works in his mind. So you might have an instructor who will give you like a 1, 2, 3, 4 stepped out plan. Bill's might have like 32 steps to it, but he'll only give you 7. You got to kind of create it in between there, and that
gives you like a roadmap.
Gives you a roadmap, and it's a creative experience. I'd like to use that as the best way I can explain it.
That makes sense. Where do you get hooked? Because there's the hobbyist getting hooked and doing some form of martial art, but then there's the fighter, the passion that you want to go ahead and make this art something that you do professionally. Where does that kick in, and when?
I think that my overall passion is to try and become the best martial artist that I can. And a lot of people will have their own perception of what we do as martial artists in general. MMA will have its, social perception. Fighting is our form of competition. So we're going to try and do that at the highest level possible. And I want to be the best that I can possibly be. And that just means continuing that journey in that degree. So I'm going to try and keep taking me as a martial artist to the highest level and want to compete at the highest level. So that's what I'm hooked to the improvement, hooked to the training, hooked to the grind of it, and then trying to see what that looks like on fight night, having it all come together. That's really like the addicting part.
I'm curious, with boxing in your family's history, is it easier or more difficult to get them on board? Because sometimes in families where there is some sort of fighting or combat background, it's a much easier thing because it's expected. And then sometimes it's also more difficult. Is there one or the other in your particular case?
Oh, make no mistake. That was probably the person that was most accepting of any type of combat. And he's no longer with us. But my parents are not the biggest fans of mixed martial arts or combat. And that's no disrespect to them. They have their own interest. That wasn't going to change anything for me. This is what I love doing, and their support is there because I'm their son. My family will support me, but at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. But absolutely, I have a little brother who plays college basketball. That's a little bit more their pace. I have some other family members who play other sports that aren't so conflict oriented, not so violent in their eyes, but it's all right.
Way to be the black sheep. Anyway,
Black Ranger,
Black Power Ranger sheep, I guess.
Gotta stop using the power, man.
Well, think about it, though.
Viacom coming after you.
They ain't gonna touch you, dude. They got better things to do right now. They come after you like, you know what? We'll get some guy fighting at King of the Cage. Because but where does that come in? Because to me, I look at that name and I think it's fitting. You look like you do the kata where he does his neck roll into that. You know, when I think that, I think you. Like, where does that nickname come from?
Honestly, it comes from Bill. Again, we kind of spoke to his personality a little bit before, and that's where it comes from. There was a group of guys that I started training with out of a garage in Simi Valley, and Bill was teaching jiu-jitsu over at Gura Boxing, and I only had one rash guard. All of us only had one rash guard. Legitimately had nothing to do with race, which is usually the perception. Like, oh, Black Ranger, he's black. No, there was a guy named Lance also. He wore a blue rash guard all the time. He ended up being the Blue Ranger. Anthony wore red. You end up being the Red Ranger. That's legitimately where it came from.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like that you're trying to downplay the fact that it's like, I don't know why they call that black guy the Black Ranger on the Power Rangers. That's weird. And the yellow one was yellow. Oh, wait.
And I think they tried to switch it up because if you watch from there after that first season, there's never another black person playing the Black Ranger. They try to switch it up, and
he's the Blue Ranger now. Acceptance. Well, let's do this. So, I'm very excited to see you fight next week. King of the Cage, what does that mean to you, sir?
It just means another opportunity for me to do my thing, man. I went pro in September of last year, and I've only had one fight. I've had 4 fights fall out. For whatever reason, it has been 4 fights. 4 fights fall out. So it's been difficult for me to get in there. My last showing at Celtic Gladiator was obviously not my best performance, and I'm just eager to get out there and, show what I can do. I think I had a decent amateur career, and, I just want to continue to push that as far as turning pro and just doing my thing, man. I'm excited.
See you get back out there. Can we shout out any sponsors for you real quick?
I'm actually looking for more sponsors, man, but for right now, we're going to shout out Team Lagarto Muay Thai in Simi Valley. Of course, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Van Nuys. That's home. We're going to shout out Dodgy Collective. Thank you for everything that you do. Striker Mouth Guards. And that's it. Friends, family, support. Love you guys. LNOG.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Look at that. Like a true professional. Ladies and gents, we've learned so much about the folks here. And I think that has to continue. Now, I think if you're playing at home, I want you to count the number of times my next guest refers to himself as a vegan. Because I probably won't. But I can't promise you that he won't. Anyway, the next individual, really solid human being, person. But I would say this. He's been very helpful with my own development in wrestling, and he's super nice guy. I want to go ahead and bring on Eliot Aguayo. Come on in, sir. I like that he did his own timer. Like, that's how you know you have a true professional. Eliot, sir, first of all, good to see you. How are you doing today, man?
Good. Just got done with a wrestling class, so we just had to do a lot of rounds, kind of, burning ourselves out, more like sprinting than, going a lot of rounds. So we just did that. We tired ourselves out. We got a lot of sweat out, and I think that's a good start for the fight week for the weight cut.
Is it interesting to be somebody who is leading the class who also has a fight coming up? Because is there ever a temptation to be like, hey, let's work on what Eliot wants to work on?
Yeah, well, so what we work on is I like to see around who's fighting. I like to look around, see what we can individually work on. And when it comes to rounds, I mean, we all go hard. We get our ass whooped I get my ass whooped from everybody, from Milton, Jordan, Lance, all the pro and all my teammates here, all the other fighters basically. We have a bunch of jiu-jitsu guys coming in, so that's a big advantage for us. They're working grappling all the time, so when they come to wrestling class, it helps out a lot. It helps out.
It does. It's confusing though.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when I have to switch between the two, I'm like, wait, I want to jiu-jitsu, but I can't do it. Oh, fuck. What am I doing here?
We worked on your wrestling though, so
yeah, we do, and I mean,
let's not downplay your abilities. Now, I taught you pretty well, so.
Well, Jesus, don't tell me how I can talk about it. I like that you're like, hey, it's all fun and games. Raf can make fun of himself until he's making fun of what I do.
Until you're making fun of a guy of wrestling. So yeah.
So where does martial arts begin for you, sir? I know that as a wrestler, that has to be a formative part of it, but is that the beginning of your mixed martial arts career?
So it first started, I guess, when I was a kid, and my brothers, they're both black belts in karate, junior black belts. So I was always watching them growing up. I would practice a little bit, but not enough to be, very consistent and actually get my own training in, like going to the dojo or the gym. And I wasn't going daily at that point, but in high school, so that was a long break. I didn't really train martial arts until I got to high school. I was starting Muay Thai a little bit. I started at one gym. Then I actually started officially training at one gym around Pacoima, next to where I live. So that's where I started. It was called PMAC, so Peter's Martial Arts Center. Yeah, it moved, so just a little shout out. He started me, but and then wrestling too. So I started wrestling in my high school and at the Boys and Girls Club. So shout out Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, and that's where I started my actual wrestling. Took it to high school, and then I was wrestling off season tournaments, and then in season dual meets and stuff, and all of that. So that's where I got a lot of wrestling experience.
What is the most challenging aspect of wrestling to you?
I think the mindset. I think when you're young, when you're in high school, and you never, like me, I never really did any sports before that. I tried football, but I was pretty trash, so I had to quit. Making everybody look bad at my high school. So I had to move to wrestling, and I was good. I mean, I knew I liked it, but I was just hesitant. I was a little scared. I didn't want to be going one-on-one with everybody or people every day. So. Sure. That was the hardest part, just the mindset. The mindset, going in every day. We would do rounds every day, not going 100% every day, but we would for sure always scrimmage. You would at least get one person and go a wrestling match with them, Gotcha. Sometimes we would have to be in the center, so all eyes on us, and that's what really helped me, the mindset. It was the hardest part to overcome, but it helped me the most overall. Okay.
Same question of where does fighting kick in? Because, you're somebody who... I mean, you see it with Milton. He's just a giant head case. You see it with Lance. He's flashy. You're a little more humble. So I'm always saying that to you because you're the only one on camera right now, and they can see me right over here. But where does that kick in for you? Because you seem very unassuming in terms of maybe a want to fight, but where is that for you?
Well, so it started. So when I came to 10th Planet Van Nuys, a little before that, I was training with my boy Jordan at Phenom. I started jiu-jitsu there, and we also started Muay Thai together, So he helped me a lot. That's how I excelled quickly. He was helping me a lot. Coach Herman was there. It was actually Jordan's coach too, so he was helping us out a lot. And that's where I got a lot of my jiu-jitsu game. I started in gi too, So whenever you need a round, if you want to get whooped or you want to whoop me, let me know, I'll put on the gi again. So that's how I started, gi. And then the kickboxing at Phenom, and it was just from there where I kind of skyrocketed my actual love and my passion and the drive. You can love something, but if you're not going to do it with drive, then just don't do it because you're going to end up getting hurt. So
how important is it for you to be a wrestling coach who kind of leads by example? Is that part of it too? Because I feel like each of you guys here at 10th Planet that's very respectable is that each of you who takes on a leadership role is a fighter. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that, I think, translates to being good examples for your team. Mm-hmm. How important is that to you?
It's really important. As a wrestling coach, it's really important because I want to put an example for these guys. So if I'm tired, I try not to, give myself lazy rounds or give lazy rounds to other people. I try not to zombie drill, but moreover than anything, I look up to these guys. They started me out. They're the ones who really molded me in the whole MMA game, and I'm just giving back as much as I can by trying to do my best in wrestling class and trying to coach them. And I'm blessed to call them, for them to call me their wrestling coach. Yeah. And sometimes they don't even do. They don't like me, but it's cool though.
What do you mean they don't like you? I think you're a fairly likable person.
Nah, because they always give me hard rounds and shit. So.
Oh, they don't like you in the round.
Yeah, in the rounds.
Yeah, because I'll be very honest with you. I'm trying to hide this a little bit right now. I didn't know this till I got back and I looked in the mirror before I go on camera. Because before I go on camera, you do that one spot check. Someone marked their face in my face. So right now, I see I know who it is.
Fingers. Yeah, let's stop pointing fingers.
I know exactly who it is.
Because you brought the beer in, it had to be Milton because you brought the beer.
He had the opportunity to hit me right as we got on camera. All I know is I look in the mirror and I go, I know this haircut. I know exactly who looks like this. So I will remain nameless, but I'll say this. Well, that's so cool. What can people expect from you over at King of the Cage this weekend, sir?
A show. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna do I'm of course gonna do the best I can, but I'm gonna come in with a new drive. I'm gonna really dictate the match this time. I'm gonna show more of my wrestling, so make sure you watch out for that. All the takedowns, and my striking's gotten a lot better. So I'm gonna control any way I want, and I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna give the fans what they want, and I'm gonna give my team what they want, and I'm gonna give myself what I want, which is the W. So.
Dope. That's a good perspective. I think you're in a good place for this week. Can we shout out any sponsor with the last 20 seconds, sir?
Mm-hmm. So as an amateur, I do got a few sponsors. Shout out Canaloom. Shout out High Hemp. The Lost Boys, kind of a new sponsor, but he's been helping me out. It's more of a company it's upcoming company in music industry. So, and those three: GCal Fitness, 10th Planet Van Nuys, of course, and that does it.
Well done, right on the money. All right, so here's what I didn't tell the guys right now. So I said there was going to be something that we're doing with all three of them at the end. Now, these guys are good at coaching their individual things, but what I'm good at coaching is this. So What they don't know right now is they're about to get some speed rounds in. But the difference is they're all kind of afraid of me asking questions. But they have to ask each other questions. So right now, I'm going to give you the microphone, and you get Milton. It's a 2-minute drill. So you get to ask Milton whatever you want to ask him. I'm going to have you sit where I'm sitting.
I'm taking the stand. All right. I got 2 minutes? All right.
2 minutes
All right.
to ask Milton whatever it is you want to ask him, sir. And time begins.
Milton. Thank you for coming on to the Eliot Show.
Thank
you. So, how was your day today? And how was wrestling?
My day was pretty good. You know, I woke up, drank some BCAAs, and then came over here and went to wrestling, and now I'm here. So, I mean, my day just kind of began. So,
Losing him, you need to get him back in the game. All right, he's going on autopilot, so you need to ask him strong questions.
How come you eat meat? You know, I'm vegan, you know, and you always come in here and, you know, you have like a big breakfast with like all steak and shit and so.
I actually don't eat steak for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
I eat eggs though.
Okay.
Eggs are good,
cool.
high protein, you know, pretty low in calories too. They're really good for you. It's good for your body, man. I think you need to get back on meat, honestly.
I'm gonna send you some links to some documentaries. You gotta watch them though, right? Like
I've watched them all, bro, and like I mean.
Guest is giving you pushback. All right.
Okay. All right. Now, can you show me, or can you tell me what you expect yourself to do next week? You got a couple of secrets up your sleeve? You got a couple?
Great question. Keep it going.
You got anything up your sleeve? Anything special that you want us to look out for, or you want it to be a complete surprise?
Just look out for the Jordan punch, all right? I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a little secret he gave me, all right? And we've been working it, been landing, all right? And you might see a bicycle kick here and there.
Like Liu Kang?
Yeah, like exactly.
Okay. Are you gonna do the flying kick or just the bicycle kick? Because Liu Kang has 2 kicks.
I might do the flying one, you know.
All right, that's cool.
Depends
That's
how long
cool.
the fight lasts. I don't have it going out of the.
Losing real human beings. So ask him a nerd question to follow up.
Okay, how about this? Chael Sonnen or Fedor? Who'd you have in that fight?
I had Fedor.
That fight already happened.
Okay. Okay. All right. So next question. All right.
Yeah.
For the next fight coming up, who you got for Khabib and Mayweather?
I got Mayweather.
Mayweather. Why? Why'd you get Mayweather?
That's not even a real question. Like, what do you mean why?
Nah, I feel like Khabib has a good chance.
Close out. Hand the microphone over to Milton. Milton. Keep that 2 minutes on there. Milton, you're losing your audience, so make sure that you're hosting.
Hey, you guys.
Wow. Okay. Good signposting. Host.
What up?
Welcome to. Are we on the Grappling Hour or Verbal Tap?
Grappling hour, yeah.
Welcome to Grappling Hour with your host Milton Arguello over here. All right, the Diamond. All right, co-host right here.
Awesome.
All right, what's your name?
Lance Bush, the Black Ranger.
The Black Ranger.
No power, but all the power.
That microphone in his face. It's really working for you. Go ahead.
I mean,
Lance.
hi. Am I supposed to ask him a question, or is he gonna ask me what?
You're supposed to be doing the heavy lifting. Figure out a question to ask him.
You're supposed to be doing the heavy lifting. I don't know. I can ask you one.
All right, Lance.
1 minute left to do this.
We did a good introduction.
All right. Let's go. Let's start off right off the bat. How do you feel about your teammate Eliot being a vegan?
Inspired.
Inspired.
Are
you going to take the same route?
I will not,
Why is that?
because I had steak for breakfast this morning.
There you go. All right.
But I do understand, and I do empathize and sympathize with some of the aspects of being vegan. But I ain't got it. I can't do it. Not yet.
So what's your fight week diet looking like this next week?
Man, for me, tapering down on dairy and sugars in general, my body just doesn't digest dairy as well. So getting rid of those out the gate is something that's going to be big for me. Lowering carbs and just upping water. I work outside. I'm a carpenter, so pretty active even when I'm not training. So my weight stays fairly low as it is. I just need to make sure I stay hydrated. I eat pretty clean as it is already, so I'll be fine.
Do you feel like your energy levels go down by any chance?
Because of work, they do, but just keeping the sleep schedule together as best as possible helps a lot.
What about your sexual life? Do your energy levels go down there? Fight week?
Perfect.
Perfect.
And I don't believe in no sex before fights.
So you're giving that good stroke, right? That good sick pump?
Always.
Perfect. You heard it here first. The Black Ranger.
You heard it there first. All right, give the microphone to him.
The good sick pump always. Welcome. This is Ranger Television.
Hold on. You're not on the clock yet.
I'm not.
You got to vamp. When you vamp, that means you're stalling. So look at the camera.
It has nothing to do with being a vampire.
You're on the clock. Go.
All right. This is my guest, Eliot Aguayo.
Second time.
Shake your hand.
I apologize.
I got rejected twice. It's good though.
It's all right.
See what
No.
I mean by
Now
that?
I'm going to awkwardly hold your hand for an extended period of time. Yes.
I'll stare at you in the eyes.
Anyway, Eliot, what do we know about your opponent?
Well, so I think he's just, he's just gonna come out. He's gonna let me work him a little bit, let me control. But he's pretty good at grappling. I seen some of his footage. I don't want to give away too much because then he's gonna know I know, and then I'm gonna know that he knows that I know. So yeah.
Do you believe that there are known knowns and there are known unknowns?
Yes, I think there's known knowns and known unknowns. Yes, I do.
Go back. Ask him a little bit about his history.
Is there any specific person, film, sporting event that inspired you to be the El Gallo that we all know and love?
Well, the most inspiring videos I see is when I go on Instagram and I go on 10th Planet Van Nuys' page and I see us getting that work in and I see us whooping each other. That kind of inspires me. Then when I see Milton's page, Jordan's page, shout out Love Movement and shout out Black Ranger.
I like that. I appreciate the shout outs. Thank you very much for those. In general, moving forward into next year, do you see yourself staying amateur or do you have your eyes set on making the transition to being a professional fighter soon?
For sure, I want to go pro. It's been a while, so I've got about 5 fights now. So if everything goes good and my body's healthy, then yeah, I'm definitely going to go pro. And of course, it's going to be up to my teammates, so you guys and Coach Gabe.
Absolutely. Shout out to Coach Gabe, who is not here. We appreciate you.
Don't bring that up. That's not necessary.
No, that's not drama. I apologize, Gabe. I'm sure that you are here with us in spirit and honor. We're going to close the show now. Thank you for Verbal Tap Podcast and whatever it is. Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen.
Love Movement.
I have to give you guys a quick performance review. So sit down. I'm going to start with you. Lance, come back here. So,
I get good grades. What's good?
yeah, no, you don't really get a great grade here. You get a passing grade because as a host, you did a solid job of looking at the guest. That's very important. Now, granted, when the guest was like greeting you, you didn't acknowledge any part of that.
Yes.
It's usually a bad sign. Okay.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, so I was kind of uncertain about, we just finished grappling and stuff, so fist bumps would have been. Continue. It's fine.
Yeah, all right. You got save the God stuff for part 2. Anyway, I want to say this. One of the things I'm always impressed with you as you are grappling or you are wrestling is your spirit and your ability to motivate the team. I think that's something that a lot of people don't see in the crowd. So one of the things I'm excited to see you do next week is to get out there, perform like I know you can perform, and I very much look forward to seeing you out there.
I appreciate that, man.
Good
Thank
work.
you very much.
All right. Can I borrow you? I don't.
Got all this airtime,
No, the people didn't want you. It's my choice. Eliot, you have a natural curiosity that makes it fun to watch. However, please don't use your own bias when doing interviewing, aka making the guest feel uncomfortable about their stance on meat. Also, did you just see Milton almost fall?
Yeah,
that was amazing. You know why I was able to see it?
Week, bro. Come on.
But do you know why I'm able to see it? Because I can multitask as a host.
Okay. This is why you're the best host I know. Shout out Verbal Tapcast.
Shout out me.
Shout out Raf Esparza as a person.
As a human being.
As a human being.
I will say this. I really mean it when I say it, though. I've trained with so many people who have varying skills as both wrestlers or coaches, and I felt like the moment I saw you starting to coach me in wrestling, you have a skill that I'm not quite sure you're even aware of. So you have an excellent coaching skill. I'm so excited to get to cover a fight for the very first time with you. So I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you do your thing, sir.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Appreciate that.
Good work, sir. Milton.
What's up, you guys?
You're okay. The weirdest thing to end an interview on is a "that's what she said" joke, and that's where you decided to go. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to kind of do like an internet rescue of yourself. So I want you got just 20 seconds, just look at the camera and close the show.
Thank you guys for joining us here today. Where are we? Grappling hour? I forgot. I'm autistic. All right, thank you for joining us here on the Grappling Hour. Shout out my host or my co-host over here, Raf. My host.
You called me a goddamn hoe. You said earlier today when you were over on the side.
I said host just now.
You literally said at some point today when we were talking about a drill, and I won't say what drill it was, you go, "This hoe work." And I said, you know what? I'm not going to get down on him. He's fighting next week. I'm going to let it pass.
This some hoe shit. That's some hoe shit. Eliot had some guy who was like 220 on top of me. I had to get up. I was tired. That was some hoe shit.
I want to be very clear. There's a lot of shit that's hoe shit. That's not quite hoe shit.
But I just want to say thank you, Raf, for bringing my belt back right here.
Belt. This is my belt. So you know what the fun part is when you're actually good at WWEBJJ, you win titles. And I just believe that you lost it. So, you know, I don't like to put it in a bad vibe before you go fight in MMA. But, you know, I just wanted to make sure that you remembered this is where it's at. And this is the most important thing. So I just want you to look at it. And just remember what you used to have, but you don't have anymore.
It's kind of cute. You should give Keith his rematch, though.
Why?
Corey deserves it, man.
Dog, I beat him fair and square. That kid doesn't deserve a rematch.
He deserves it.
Hey, he seemed to beat you pretty quick, so that's all I'm saying. Anyway, here's what I'm going to say. Again, sir, it's one of the great things that I see how much work you get to put in when you are fighting, when you are at Muscle Farm, when you're at 10th Planet. I think you're a very well-rounded fighter, and you're always fun to cover when you are fighting. So I very much look forward to seeing you fight. At the 20th anniversary, nobody's really talking about that. It's the 20th goddamn anniversary of King of the Cage. So I very much look forward to that, and I know you guys will carry on that distinction with honor. Sir, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Raf. Thank you for having me. Shout out Grappling Hour. Shout out Raf Esparza, the best to ever do it. Again, sorry I'm autistic, you guys, but great show. I love being on here, and he does a great job of making all his what do you call the people, your interviewees feel comfortable, and yeah.
All right, good job. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep it locked here. We got more stuff coming up right now. He walks out the interview. He's just like, oh, shit, I want to get out of here.